जस्ट लाइव हो गया, जल्दी 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 लगा। हाँ, a very good evening, my dear viewers. I do apologize to all of you for this, delayed kick-starting of our proceeding today on Education Pe Charcha because of technical fault, or you can say networking issue. Because our very, valued partner, Sri Pramod Kumar Jha, was trying to connect us right from Dhanbad, and he was facing, all this sort of networking issue. So therefore, I am really apologetic, profusely apologetic for kick-starting of our proceeding today. That is really an August program, Education Pe Charcha. It is equivalent to educating the nation. My dear viewers, in fact, this is indeed a very, it is a continuation of the series of our program, wherein we keep on inviting almost, all the myriad achievers from different field of specialization. And, in the process of continuation of the same, today also we have invited one of the topmost achievers, in the medical field, Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji. But before I just try to introduce you, I would like to inform all of you that, just it is a continuation of women empowerment in Education Pe Charcha, in as much as we already invited, Madam Srimati Usha Rani Jha in just the preceding program. And today also we do have the immense pleasure and a privilege to inform all of you that we have invited Dr. Meenakshi Singh, doctor entrepreneur, for today's August 54th session on Education Pe Charcha. My dear viewers, as you all know, this is VIVEKANAND Jha, an author, academician, and a public intellectual. And, of course, collaboration with our valued partner, Dr. Surendra Pathak ji, who unfortunately is not present today because of his daughter's marriage. So today, of course, Sri Pramod Kumar Jha, who has been instrumental behind kickstarting of this particular channel. So today he is providing all sort of technical assistance, but unfortunately, because he was unable to connect us till now, so our program is just getting delayed start. So therefore, my apology. My dear viewers, it is 54th session, as already informed you, and it's very important that we have, Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji as today's very august guest. So I would just like to give a brief introduction, because we are already late and we have a delayed start. So Dr. Meenakshi, as I already informed my viewers, the Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji is a doctor, is of course a medical professional, but most importantly, at this particular young age, when we see the plethora of doctors, either persevering for some sort of jobs, either under government, or in working under some private, that is hospitals. We have such a enterprising and dynamic youth doctor who dared to bite the bullet, and who took the initiative to go for her own establishment, that is Meenakshi Netralaya, which is very much located in the heart of Ranchi. So this is the beauty of Dr. Meenakshi Singh, that at such an age where people keep on persevering, keep on struggling, running from pillar to post, in quest for some good placement, some good opportunities, Dr. Meenakshi Singh, in coordination and cooperation with a very dynamic youth leader, Dr. Sri Abhishek Singh ji, another doctor, very, you can say a man with a tremendous amount of foresightedness. She dared to bite the bullet, and she started her own eye hospital along with dental facilities. That is Meenakshi Netralaya. It is a premier hospital for for eye treatment here in the heart of Ranchi. So therefore, my dear viewers, you can well understand it is indeed of an enterprising lady whom we are hosting for today's show indeed deserves kudos, because in today's time, when we have, as our earlier Madam Srimati Usha ji said, that our country has become the nation of job seekers. So it is a rarest of rare sight to come across those handful of you who can dare to be the job givers, and Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji happens to be one among them. So therefore, Education Pe Charcha indeed feels delighted to host Dr. Meenakshi Singh as today's very honored and distinguished guest for Education Pe Charcha. Madam, I very much welcome Madam Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji. I very much welcome you for today's very electrifying session. With a small introduction, I'll come to you with a question and answer session. So, as I already said, Dr. Meenakshi Singh holds the degree of BDS honors from Buddha Institute of Dental Science, Dental Sciences, Patna, MBS from Ortho from Sardar Patel PG Institute, and of course, she is such a lady that she also has an interest to look beyond medical profession. That is why she has already finished her PG Executive MBA and has also done B Pharma. She is the CEO of Meenakshi Netralaya, apart from being a valued partner along with her husband, Dr. Abhishek Singh ji, a dynamic youth leader of Jharkhand and of the country in the upcoming days or upcoming years. So this is Meenakshi ji. I very much welcome you for today's very August program of Education Pe Charcha. With this very first question goes to you, Dr. Meenakshi Singh. Walking down the memory lane, if you could dig out your past to let us know how you and your sister got separated from each other and how once both of you stepped out of your home in search for your parents, both working doctors. So we welcome Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji. Yes, Dr. Meenakshi ji, please.
Thank you, sir, first of all, for such a wonderful introduction. And obviously, I am very much delighted and elated to be on your show. Also, a big, good evening and namaskar to all your viewers, whoever is watching us live right now. Yeah, that's an interesting story. Actually, we did not, as sisters, we did not got separated, but we lived separately. My sister actually was born when my mother was pursuing her MBBS, and she was in third year at that time, and she was giving her exams. So at that time she was born, and it was very difficult, to carry a baby along with the exams as well as everything going on as an MBBS student. So things were, very difficult, challenging at that time, and they also were from a very poor, background. So in those days, what they decided is to keep her with my mama and mommy, uncle and aunt. So they kept her there, and I was born actually later on. I was born after 4 years. So when she was actually in her post-graduation, and she just kept me like for 6 months with my grandmother. And then I actually lived back with my mother. But what happened that since that time was spent by my sister with my uncle and aunt, so she was very much used to live with them only, because she was like from a small baby. She was there. She was born and brought up she was born to my mother, but she was brought up by them. So she never got attached with us in that ways. So it was very difficult to bring her back to us, and then yeah, so that's the story where we and she lived separately. And yeah, when my mother actually wanted to bring her back, and she was like she never wanted to be with us. She also always she loved the brothers, like all the cousins of mama and mommy. So she always wanted to go back. So my mother used to go for work, and she used to pursue her patients. She had to go many places. She had to visit many places because they were in the struggling phase at that time. They did not have that much money, that much things. So to actually establish her practice and all, she had to move here and there, and they had to work also late night. So once she came, my sister was brought back to our home, and we tried to make her live with us. But when my mother and father, they were working at that time, she told me that I want to go back to Bokaro to my mama and mommy. So what happened that I told her that how you can go, like nobody is here, how you are going to go to Bokaro, you're such at a small age. So she was not that mature. I was more mature than her from the beginning. So I actually told her that you should go with some relative at least. So she said that okay, you can tell one neighbor was our relative also. So she said that you can, go and call him. I want to just go back. She started crying and all. So she was since elder to me. I had to follow her things. I had to follow her words. So I went. Actually, I just dramatized everything, and I just went downstairs and I said that okay, I found that neighbor is not there inside the home, and I just came back and I told her the lie that I said that he is not there. We can't go right now. Just wait for Mama and Papa. When they will come, they will obviously get us to Bokaro. They'll let you meet them. So that was actually story, and I actually prevented her to go with some, stranger to Bokaro. So she was, and those times we did not had any, communication. Like right now we have mobiles and all. So in those days we did not had anything. So I had to handle all those stuff at that time on my own because I used to be, more mature than her. So that was the actual story.
Great. Great. My dear viewers, it becomes very important here because what Meenakshi says, she is just, and it is purely coincidental, but nevertheless, extremely inspirational. Both the sisters are really doctor entrepreneurs, whereas Meenakshi ji is holding aloft the flag of entrepreneurship here in Ranchi in India. Her sister, Dr. Rohini Singh, is another, means of doctor entrepreneur in United States of America. I think in Texas, if I'm not wrong. See the pure coincidence being the daughters of the medical parents, both her father and mother. I'm so very sorry to inform my viewers, her father is no more because COVID-19 claimed him, and so unfortunately he is no more in our midst. But indeed, a very lovable father, and of course, her mother really she has earned a goodwill of being a very well-known doctor just in the vicinity of Bokaro. So what exactly I wanted to inform all of you that see both the sisters, graduated not only into becoming a very successful doctors, but most importantly, becoming the entrepreneur, with doctor entrepreneurs. That is the point to be noted because entrepreneurial journey itself is extremely fascinating. Because if you are doing some sort of job, it's well and good because you're not under pressure, much pressure, in as much as you're getting monthly salary, everything. But when you are setting up your own venture, it is as good as leaping into uncertainty. And then when you build up your own empire, even though it might be at a nascent stage, but nevertheless with a vision to make it a huge empire, itself deserves kudos and salutations from here from Education Pe Charcha. I'm coming to the second question, madam. Very important. So nice, and to have been enlightened about your childhood journey, how you both sisters stayed together, and how yeah, almost in the say late evening you both ventured out in search of your parents because both of them were working doctors, and after their working hours they would go to attend
Yeah,
their
we
patients.
actually used to stay in our neighbor's house because mostly late night they used to come back and from work. And my mother was a very laborious person. From the beginning, she used to work very hard. So that's what we also actually inculcated in us. And she actually used to leave us in our neighbor's house, and that neighbor is actually my patient right now. He is settled in Ranchi and he often visits me. His daughter also visits me. But in those days, we used to stay in their home, and we used to, eat dinner and everything in their house. So that was, very difficult times to go. And yeah, that was a story that we went with our, small maids were there. So the maid along with two of us, we started, roaming on the roads that whether they have come or not. And when they were like coming from there, and we were going by that road, so they found us there. Then they were in shock that what has happened to them. So that was again a shocking, experience.
Thanks a lot, madam. But yes, you can describe it as shocking, but I describe it as a learning experience, because you have seen since your childhood days, as you just now articulated, your parents struggling, working to make out, to earn a fame for
Yes.
themselves, name for themselves, earn wealth and all that. So that sort of spirit you inculcated, as you yourself confessed, went on to make you, make you such a successful people at such a young age.
Yes, yes.
Kudos.
I used to actually stay in the operation theater also sometimes, and I sometimes was outside the operation theater, and I used to peep out from the window what's going inside. And my mother was a very, laborious kind of lady. Till now, she is very much, laborious, hardworking. So I used to obviously observe every time that how much labor she is, doing to make us have a good living and all. So that actually inculcated in us. That thing has come in us. Both of us are working, and both of us are doing good. My sister is owning actually 2 hospitals in USA. So that's a great achievement there also.
Unequivocally so. Thanks, my dear viewers. Dr. Meenakshi ji's mother, about whom she has just spoken about, is a gynecologist, renowned gynecologist in the area of Bokaro. Thanks a lot. I'm just coming to the very next question, madam. Your early education was shaped up in a boarding house in Delhi. With the benefits of hindsight, do you think that studying in a boarding house did stand you in good stead, or it was the other way around? You think that had you stayed with your parents instead of moving on to boarding house, possibly you could have done even better than what you have done thus far? Your take on this, please.
Yeah, actually, boarding happened somewhat fortunately also and unfortunately also. Both things have, everything has a pros and a con. So actually, what happened that in those days where our mother and father they stayed, that was like a very interior kind of place, and that was not very much developed. Till now, also it is not developed. That's like Khusro and Birmo. So they used to actually, whenever we used to go to school, most of the time the school was closed, and the hooligans used to, stop the bus. They did not wanted the bus to go to the school. So every day there was something or the other thing happened. So what they, being, doctor parents, they did not wanted us to study in such an atmosphere where every day something is happening. So they actually decided that why we shouldn't put them in a boarding, because most of the people whoever were well-to-do in that place used to keep their kids in boarding. So we were like very small in those days, and I was in class third. So they finally decided that yeah, we should also go to the boarding. And because of the atmosphere and all in the school at that time, we were also not performing very well. So we were not very much focused. The teachers were also most of the time absent from the school. So it wasn't a very good, educational background at that time. So when I went to Delhi for my boarding, obviously I became more focused towards studies, and I was, much more inspired by other, colleagues and all, and my batchmates, that how they study, how they focus. And we used to get up like 4 a.m. in the morning, used to do everything upon our own selves. The only drawback was that my mother and father found this, they found us in bad health, and the food and all was not appropriate. So after 8th standard, I came back to my place, and that too another way, that too have a story, because in those days when we were like, we reached 8th standard, and my I reached 8 and my sister reached 11. So the things got actually changed here, and one principal, Dr. Ovir Singh, he came there, and he again he became patient of my mother. So when he came for checkup of his wife, antenatal checkup he was in antenatal checkup for his wife with my mother. So she said that she asked her actually that you are principal and of the DAV school, and right now the situation is so bad that we have to keep our kids, in boarding. So it would be better that they would be here and they would study here. So he said that, Madam, you don't worry, you just bring them back, I will take admission. So then we came back and had admission. But till that time, we grew up in, more mature way and tried understanding more, educational and things like that. So we did well over there.
Great.
Educationally, we did well.
So basically, my dear viewers, what the sort of message that is emanating from our, our very august guest, esteemed guest, Dr. Meenakshi Singh, is this: that as she studied in boarding house in her initial years, so she was much more disciplined vis-a-vis what was feasible had she stayed with her parents till class 8 standard, because after class 8 standard, as she has just informed us, she was brought back from Delhi and got admitted in DAV school.
And that actually helped me in being disciplined till now, because till now I had the same, routine, waking up early in the morning, going to bed, beforehand, and doing all my, routine workouts, exercises, everything, food and everything is controlled. So that actually helped me till now. Till now, I am very much disciplined in my life.
Great. So basically, that is a sort of, means instilling discipline at the early age, some sort of regimentation. Though, I think the military regiment or military regimentation to a great extent is being institutionalized in the boarding house, and that is what the sort of plethora of benefits that flew to Dr. Meenakshi ji at her young, childhood days, that went on shaping her career even till now, because she, very vividly, she admits or acknowledges the sort of contribution that her boarding house made towards shaping her career in terms of instilling the regimen, the strict regimen that she continues to adhere to even till today. Thanks a lot, madam. I'm coming to a very, very next question. You did your BDS from Patna, whereas post-graduation from Lucknow. But we'll come to post-graduation a while later. You just share with us your experiences during the pursuit of your BDS degree from Patna, where your sister also stayed with you. Yes, your take on this.
Yeah, actually, my sister took admission first, and I was the follower, because every younger child is a follower of the elder one. And that too, I when saw my mother, a huge amount of struggle. She never used to sleep at night. So I decided that I don't want to become a gynecologist for sure. I can't become a gynecologist. If I will become one, then I will also have sufferings throughout my life. So I opted for a BDS degree, because that degree wasn't, by luck or by chance. That was opted by me, because I wanted to do something different from my mother. I did not wanted to, wake up at nights. So I chose this, and I was obviously a very much, shy kind of personality. My sister was from the beginning, she was very much extrovert, and I was an introvert person. So when I came to the BDS after completion of my 12th, and I just jumped into the BDS thing. And when I joined BDS, there was huge amount of ragging and all. So I used to shy a lot. I was very much fearful. My seniors used to say that she is always shaking, and whenever we used to take some introduction from her, she is like shivering and shaking. So they used to complain it to my sister, and she was the one who used to protect me from all the raggings and all, because she was very much senior at that time. She was in 4th year, so she used to protect me always. Like nobody has to rag my sister. So that was the thing. And obviously, but after 6 months, when the ragging phase and all was over, I was a very much studious person too. So whenever I feel ask my batchmates and all, they will always tell you that I was the only one who used to study, because that was an private college, and those people usually are not very much interested in their studies, and forceful admissions are done. So I was the one who actually opted for it. So I used to put a lot of labor in that, and I used to study in Sundays. On Sundays also I used to go to the terrace, and I used to study. Everybody was in the outing and doing fun and all, and I was studying. So I rarely used to go to movie theaters to watch movies and all. So that was my part in the BDS. But yeah, I did well, and I actually got one honors also in those days, and that was quite tough to get.
Great, my dear viewers, you have seen actually, let me tell you, let me clarify here that even in medical or in engineering, so, if you are a studious sort of people, as Chetan Bhagat writes in his novel, 5 Point Someone, which is, so which is specifically, which caters to IITs, there also he has made it absolutely clear that the studious people in IITs, they only, transcend beyond the mediocrity, because one who keeps on, even though after getting admission into IITs or into medical, if they just keep on frolicking or taking to studies in not that earnest, not that passionate way, so they end up as mediocre, as ordinary people in the later part of their lives. But those who take their studies very sincerely, even while pursuing MBA or MBBS or IT or engineering, they indeed make they become someone, from nobody to somebody. A journey of an engineering or a medical degree is just to evolve yourself from that of being a nobody into somebody. So you can become somebody only if you have taken to your studies very seriously and in utmost earnestness, as a sacred vow to your profession. Definitely you graduate into being somebody, as what Dr. Meenakshi is somebody today. So that is why she had shown seriousness since her medical days. That is the harvest, or she is reaping a rich harvest today when she is presiding over the destiny of Meenakshi Netralaya. Great, madam. Coming to the very next question now, is a very, very important question. In your post-graduation degree, I'm coming to the, your post-graduation degree, which you did from Lucknow, where you got also the gold, you are a gold medalist. If I have to name it, it is Sardar Patel, MDS from Orthodontics from Sardar Patel, PG Institute of Medical Sciences, Lucknow, where you got gold medalist. Now I'm coming to the question. You suffered a lot of persecution. In fact, the worst of ragging in your post-graduation, which if your husband, Dr. Abhishek Singhji, would not have robustly guided you at that point in time, perhaps it would have ended as a nightmare for you. You would have ended up a casualty of that sort of, the indescribable sort of harassment that you are subjected to. So could you kindly share those very unsavory experience of yours, which can make anyone's spine chill? Your take on this, please.
Yeah, actually, when I entered the college, at that time only, in 2008, I got married to Dr. Abhishek, and he was doing his MD degree from AIMS, New Delhi. So when I actually got admitted to that college, I told you before also that I was a quite shy kind of person, and that was like out of our state also. We belong to Bihar and Jharkhand, and in those days Biharis were considered to be most discarded kind of people who doesn't know anything, or who are not very upmarket people. So I think that was the major reason of those sufferings in those days. And what happened is that I actually resisted, because I was a studious person. I always wanted to pay attention towards my studies. And in Lucknow, actually, they had a problem that everybody, whoever enters the college, has to face all those, harassment, so that we can work for our seniors, our teachers, and whatever work they will give us, we have to do that apart from our studies. They can call us like at 8 p.m. also to do their, silly works, like preparing some pamphlets for any program, or distributing pamphlets to the departments, and things like that. So I usually try to resist these things. And since I was actually guided by Dr. Abhishek also, he also said that whenever somebody tries to impose anything on you which you don't like it, obviously you should go ahead and raise your voice against that. The thing is not that some person is doing that. The thing is about good and bad. If you will have that attitude of, taking things on you, and somebody is bullying you, and you are just trying to go in that flow, so obviously you will ruin your career. Nobody is going to help you afterwards. If you will not pay attention right now, obviously later on you are not going to, do good in your own business. So because of that, I always resisted them. And one day actually happened. I remember that day, that that teacher actually scolded me in such a way, and he told me to stay outside the department for like 2-3 days until they don't pass a notice to take me back to the department. So I actually used to come with my all bag and baggage, and I used to, stay outside my department. And things went in such a way that I was so much, harassed. And finally I actually asked Dr. Abhishek, and because of, some of the political pressures that was generated by Dr. Abhishek to that college, college authority and all. So then what happened, that the teacher had to actually leave the college and go. And finally things actually became in my favor. But the whole college actually in those days used to say that you are going to have a supply. That is for sure, because everybody is like against you, the whole department is against you. So things has happened, in such a way. So I used to tell them that anybody would get supply except for me. I am not going to get any supply. I am going to work hard for that, and I know that I am not going to get any kind of, supplementary exam. And later on, I was like topper in that subject in orthodontics. I was topper in that university, that was Faisalabad University. So that was a gold medal in the last.
Great, madam. My dear viewers, it becomes very much incumbent on my part to inform you about, just now madam said that just being a Bihari, she was subject to an immense or immeasurable amount of ridicule. My dear viewers, this is Vivekanand Jha, an author of Yes, I Am Bihari, world famous book, which was launched by Sri Nitish Kumar ji along with all his ministers on the occasion of Bihar Divas 2016. Basically, it reflects the the feelings of discrimination that people of Bihar are being subjected to from across India. And I myself was a victim because I stayed in Calcutta, born and brought up in Calcutta. I went to Mumbai, stayed there, saw the persecution, sufferings of Biharis, sort of discriminatory treatment meted to them. In Delhi, I stayed for more than a decade. I saw all that, and all these consequently are graduated into my writing the book, Yes, I Am Bihari, and Ha Mai Bihari Hu. Ha Mai Bihari Hu is a Hindi version which was launched by Dr. Sri Avdesh Narayan Singh ji of Bihar Vidhan Parishad, chairman of Bihar Vidhan Parishad in Bihar Vidhan Parishad. After its English version, which was written by me, Yes, I Am Bihari, was released. Sri Indrajit Singh Parmar and his wife, both of them translated my Yes, I Am Bihari into Hindi, that is Ha Mai Bihari Hu. Thanks a lot,
One more
madam.
actually incidents happened at the time of my third year of post graduation. And when I actually prepared whole of my thesis, everything was ready, and I printed out everything. That was a huge amount of money incorporated in printing all those, many copies of thesis used to be there. So when I actually presented all the copies, I printed everything and I presented it for signature, final signature of my, professor who was at that time my, thesis guide. So she handed it over to the teacher who actually, we had that period of time where we were fighting with each other. So she handed everything over to him, and he rejected everything. He said that everything is wrongly written in this thesis, and you have to make a thesis once again. So I said that what's this? Like my co-PG's thesis was already signatured, everything is passed. He has submitted his copies, and my thesis at the time of after printing they have rejected everything because they were checking everything, and later on they rejected it. So I had to actually again go to Kurukshetra for my thesis study. One repeated study I did, and I again contacted one person in Bangalore. Then he did my finite element studies on that thesis. And later on, actually, I would say that it's okay. Things went wrong for me or with me at that time, but that actually made me more stronger because I faced all these things at that moment where people, start studying, and at that time I was, I was sweating a lot. I was having, a lot of pain doing everything once again. And but I did everything, and that thesis took me to another level. My viva was very good. My the examiner who came to us was very much impressed. I have my paper presentation also. I did it in Manali, and on that thesis, then I published one paper also of that thesis. So everything happened to me only. So I was like, later on I thought that everything, whatever goes wrong to you, if you are like if you try to face those problems very in that manner, obviously you will achieve good results.
Great. So, in fact, my dear viewers, you have seen the sort of, means the pain and sort of misery that she was subjected to by her professor intentionally. All those were the deliberate machination to just, to inflict all sort of damages upon her, to mentally harass her, so that, to browbeat her into submission. But our august guest, Madam Dr. Meenakshi Singh, she never ever, means wavered in her resolution to go with all sort of robustness, because she was very much supported by her husband, Dr. Abhishek Singh Ji, and she stood, strongly and, negotiated with all those sort of labyrinthine path, because that time entire college, as he mentioned, all professors were hostile towards her. But she never gave up her hope and optimism, a sense of belief in what she was doing was right. And that's why when external professor came, he was of all praise for her. In front of entire college, all professors, the external examiners only praise.
Till now they remember me. Till now my department remembers me that there was a person who did so much hard work in PG, because every batch there is an example that has been set by me. Actually, they always give my example, and right now I have very good terms with those teachers. Everybody, they used to talk to me, and like last year, that sir, he called me and wished me, on my birthday, and that was, very nice from hearing from him on my birthday. So right now everybody is very nice to me. Everyone is like they have seen my potential, and everybody is very good friend of mine right now.
Great. And definitely, madam, I would like to do, although our program started belatedly, but nevertheless, I would like you to send this video across to all your college professors and all that, so they would know that to the extent, to the height that you have risen today, and the sort of respect you still have for your alma mater. Because the sort of persecution you are subjected to, that would have enabled anybody to pulverize at the very face of all those sort of avalanche of miseries being inflicted upon you then. But you stood your ground, You negotiated with all the hardship and finally left your footprints behind for others to follow in that particular footstep. So your work was unprecedented. That is why even professors pay great respect to you. As she said that on the occasion of her birthday, she was especially congratulated by her teaching fraternity. Great achievement, great accomplishment. Coming to the next question, madam, with the benefits of hindsight, although you already said and we have already, and our viewers have already noted what you have said, but nonetheless, this question becomes important. With the benefits of hindsight, how do you think those unpleasant experiences in your post-graduation years stood you in good stead in the later part of your journey in life?
Yeah, later on, actually, I till now I remember everything, and it helped me in a way that whatever situation comes in front of me, I'm always ready to face it. And since I have been through very, very hard, hardships and hard times, bad times, so whatever you would say was, every moment was unpleasant for me, till morning till night, because everybody stayed in that campus itself. I used to, walk around in that campus. I had to face them each and every time. So those days were very, had a bad experience of that. But still, I would say that that has helped me a lot, because that has made me a different, person. I can never tolerate things are not like I'm defending, or I'm telling this about any person or any teacher or any faculty. I'm just trying to say that whenever bad things come to you, you shouldn't accept it in the way they are. You have to always, if you are right, you have to take your step. Otherwise, uh, this world is actually full of people like this, and in every step of yours, in every path, in every walk of your life, you will have to face, people like this. So you have to be very strong, mentally tough. And at that time, I was a shy person when I came from my BDS to MBS. But MBS actually made me an extrovert person, and it made me a person who can fight with the whole college itself. I can't say a person, I fought with the whole college, and everyone was against me. Even my friends who like stood back to me were never in front, like that I am her friend kind of thing was not to be expressed. So even my friend that was very close to me, she used to say that I think you will have a supply this time. So everybody, I had to face each and every person in that college. So that made me actually strong. And right now I can handle and tackle anything. I know that I can tackle anybody on this earth. So that has made me actually strong.
Great. The sort of resolution that what she has spoken about, I can watch for it, because having known her for quite some time, I can watch for whatever she has said. Indeed, an intrepid and a bold lady. She can dare to drive her own BMW for around 150 kilometers to and fro. That speaks a volume about her heroism, about her bravery, about indeed, the sort of audacity that she personifies or epitomizes. My dear viewers, I recall in this very context a famous observation of great Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest, most illustrious presidents of the United States of America, one of the world leaders ever born. He had said, in fact, writing a letter to the principal of his son, he said that, please, oh, dear principal, you teach my son that even if the entire world is against him, but if he believes that what he is doing is right, he should take the whole world. He should fight against the whole world if he thinks what he believes is right. Likewise, our distinguished guest on Education Pe Charcha today, Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji, in fact, was a crusader. She picked up the gauntlet against the entire college authorities when she thought that she was very much sticking to the path of righteousness, and that was her duty, her very avowed duty to fight against all that she thought was wrong. That is the vision, or you can say the might of a crusader. In the you can say she single-handedly she negotiated with the situation like a crusader, and she deserves all kudos, because finally she emerged triumphant out of all the nemesis that she faced in that particular post-graduation degree in that medical college of Lucknow. Great, madam. Thanks a lot. We are now coming to a very, very important question, because it is the first time we are coming, though we have referred to Dr. Abhishek Singh, a very dynamic youth leader. Coming, this question has to do something with him. You consider it is a question, madam, very important. Dr. Abhishek Singh, apart from being your life partner, as your friend, guide, and philosopher, how do you think Dr. Abhishek Singh has inspired your life? Please, your take on this.
Yeah, actually, I told you that the way I was actually handling myself, and I was very, shy kind of person. And as you told right now only that I drove BMW to my, native place, and then I came back at night, and I was the one, like, four cars were there, and I was the one who was ahead of everybody, like approximately 10 kilometers ahead of my other brothers who were in the, other cars they were driving. And when we came out, they told me that the way you drive is, definitely something very wondrous. We can't imagine, female driving in such a speed and such a way. And that too at night. I was having my son in front seat, and my guard on the back seat. And that was actually where he has, developed me, like, because he has been a guide, he has been a philosopher. Every time when I have a setback, he always, supports me, he guides me. He tries to, buck up me. He teaches me how you should handle the situation. He even scolds me. So actually, things has happened in a long journeys. Like, we have been married, like 14 years have passed, and till now I am learning every day from him. And he is a very bold person. He wants me to be bold. He wants me to be, independent completely. He doesn't want me to be dependent on himself. So I can travel alone. I can go to many places for my own work and all. So the building that has been constructed and all was done by me. And whenever I find a situation, I can tackle it on my own. So obviously, he has developed me a lot. He has guided me a lot.
Thanks a lot, madam. Of course, my dear viewers, Dr. Abhishek Singh ji, about whom she has been talking about, is indeed a dynamic youth leader with a very, very special type of vision. And of course, what she says, I do watch for it, I do corroborate. I'm coming to the next question, madam, a very, very important question. You are a founder director of Meenakshi Netralaya, which itself is a big hospital. How the idea of this hospital took a tangible shape in your mind? Please, your take on this.
Yeah, actually, when Dr. Abhishek passed out his MD examination, and he was pursuing for his SR-ship there in AIMS, so he actually wanted to, do some job, and get himself directed under some, hospital, or he should work there. So I actually told him, and I also in those days I guided him that if you want to finally have your own hospital, your own setup, why don't you do it from the beginning? Because if you have a habit of doing work under somebody, that will not be good for us in longer period of time. Because if you are under somebody, usually you don't have that much of guts to go and open your hospital, that too in a place like Ranchi, and that's a capital. There is a lot of other hospitals also going on. So I actually promoted him to start with his own hospital, own setup, and I also joined him a year later because I was a year junior to him. So we started off with having a hospital in a rented setup, and later on we developed this setup, and the vision behind this was to give best eye care as well as dental services to the people without having any cheating in my back of the mind. Every aspect should be very much clear to and transparent. So we developed it in that manner.
Great. Indeed, a great job. Now I'm coming to next question. We had a very, very important question. My dear viewers, it is very incumbent on the part to make some sort of, sort of announcement, or say sharing my own experience, because as and when I visit Meenakshi Netralaya, I am given the sort of hospitality that I am being provided with is the beverage is being served. That is also a pure, means the Gir guy. That is what is called the sort of breed that is Gir guy, and it is really astonishing that Meenakshi had undertaken a very extensive research to find out when, as she herself will say, that when she already bought the farmhouse, she wanted to buy the cows, because it was she herself would say why she bought it, but then she had done an extensive research and got gear guys. And being a doctor and managing cows, when she sought a piece of advice from her mother suggested, no, no, you are a doctor. How come being a doctor and managing cows can juxtapose, because both are separate entities in totality altogether? But Meenakshi is, a daring personality. She thought that it was very important, in order to get an unadulterated food, the Gir guy's milk is really very productive. So she bought Gir guy, and that is the question goes. She is there to explain the, in detail as to how the idea struck her and how she finally purchased Gir guy, and she's having all those cows, dogs in her farmhouse. Now I'm coming to the next question, madam. It's for you now. You also own a big farmhouse where you have brought cows from Gir, that is Gujarat. How the idea of bringing cows from Gir took a shape in your mind, and being a doctor and again the manager of the cow farm, how both are being expedited and how both are being, synchronized. Your take on this, please.
Yeah, I actually love exploring things, and we are very much health conscious. We are very much, fitness freaks. We always pay attention to our health upon anything else. So actually, the idea came into mind that why to spend money on buying or purchasing a property without any use, like people used to whenever they have money, they don't have that much courage, to develop things like a farmhouse. Usually they spend their money on buying flats and properties. So we thought that why to spend your money in buying a flat without any advantage of that. It won't give you any advantage. That money won't give you any real advantage. So we thought that why not we should spend money on a farmhouse, and then we actually developed a farmhouse. And usually you would see that where there is a will there is a way. So somebody came at that point of time to us, and he actually explained us about organic farming and this that. So I personally asked him that how we can do organic farming. So he said that, madam, if you want to do organic farming, there is only one way out, that you want, pure desi cows, cow dung. So I said that, okay, desi cows cow dung can be got from somebody else's farm. So he said that, no, no, you can't do that, because if you will buy, cow dung from other farms, they always give their cows injections and oxytocin. So all that comes into their dung, and that will be spread in your farm. So you have to keep actually cows on your own. So my husband said that, okay, you can buy Sahiwal or something like that from Patna, and that will come around like 20,000-25,000. You can buy a cow from there. So I said that, no, let me first do my research work, because I can't buy anything, any damn thing from anywhere. So I actually started researching upon all these things, and then I got to know that what is the difference between a desi cow and Jersey or HF cows. Then what is the actual difference between their milk? And I actually came across a thing that there is something called A1 and A2 milk, and A2 milk is the only milk that is actually suitable for us as human beings, and rest other milks are not considered good for us for consumption of our ourselves. So what I found is that A1 milk causes diabetes, blood pressure in early stages of life, and people right now, you can see that most of the people are suffering from diabetes, blood pressure. So I did not wanted my son to consume such kind of milk. And when I researched more on A2 milk, I found that Gir cows are the ones who give really good milk, because they have been not crossbred in Gujarat, because Gujaratis are very much conservative about their cows. So right now they're not doing any crossbreeding with other breeds like Jersey and HF and all. But here in Jharkhand, what I saw is each and every cow is crossbred, because the whole genetics has been changed. So if you would say that this is a dehati, or this is a desi cow that we are having, and this will also give you A2 milk, so that's not true, because the genetics have been changed from a lot of generations have been crossbred, and that has been done by the government itself, so that they can improve, the farmers can improve the yield of milk from their cows. So that was a movement at that time from the government itself, that you just do crossbreeding, you do artificial insemination of SF and Jersey. So I thought that no, if ever I would bring a cow, that would be a Gir cow. So in with that particular idea, I started actually pursuing all the cattle, as well as big gaushalas in Gujarat. So I came across one gaushala, that was Ariman Gir Gaushala. So there I actually found that they have a record of generations of these cows. So I said that I will buy a cow from here only. Whatever would be the cost won't matter me. So I actually asked Dr. Abhishek. Then he said that, have you gone nuts? How you'll bring a cow from Gujarat? It's very difficult. I said that no, I just want to bring a Gir cow only. I'm not going to get anything else. Otherwise, I won't have any cow. So, by the way, that Goshala again called me back, and he said that a person from Dhanbad, he is a data scientist. So, he is also interested in buying cows, and he is every time coming to our Goshala. So, if you want to club your cows with him, and both of you can share the transportation, and then you can get the Gir cows from our site. So, I actually I agreed from all my hands and toes, and I said that okay, I will obviously go with him. So I selected my Gir cows from here only, after watching all the videos and photos and everything. And he actually went there to Gujarat, and we clubbed our cows together, and then I got them. And even though I got them, that was not an easy journey, because as soon as we got them, we then came to know that we have to have a milkman also. We doesn't have to have a cow only who's giving milk. We have to have a keeper also, milkman also. And after bringing them, then we started searching from where we'll get that milkman. So we searched that village where our farmhouse was situated, and every day at 6 we used to go there. 28 kilometers ahead from here we used to go there. We used to bring that milkman, and he used to milk the cow. Then we used to come back. So 1 month we did all this nonsense stuff, and just after 6 months again we faced our big difficulties. That the two cows that we got from there, one cow died out of some postpartum problems, and she was having a baby when she came. So she died, and that was again a big shock for me, because so much of hard labor and everything, and we lost one cow out there. But right now everything has gone well, and right now I'm selling also cows milk and very good rate. So people are appreciating it. Even you are appreciating it every day.
Indeed, so madam, and of course, my dear viewers, you have seen that how doctor, is so seamlessly and effortlessly, she has embraced the other profession as well. Because apart from being a CEO of Meenakshi Netralaya, where more than 30 staff are already working, she has got so many staff working in the farmhouse and taking visits the farmhouse just to to supervise over the whole work, that indeed deserves kudos, huge kudos. And my madam, I would like to know. my viewers would like to know, because you have a very distinguished people as your patients, like Sri Hemant Surenji's wife, and so many models and all very important patients of yours. Could you please throw some light on them, please, on your patient list of patients? Some of the
Yeah, Mrs. Kalpana Sorenji is my patient since like 12 years, 11, 12 years, and she has been visiting me like every 6 months. Most often she is visiting us. Then all our, IAS, IPS, and judge, chief justice, justice. So many patients are there in Ranchi who are actually connected to me and who are coming to me. And one model, she is going to get actually one album very soon. So I have actually corrected her, smile correction and everything was done from me. So obviously we have a huge amount of good patients.
And actually, what is the name of the model? Because you that you're very
Shivona,
interesting.
Shivona,
Okay,
Shivona.
very great. So, my dear viewers, within a very short span of time, Madam Meenakshi ji has also earned a great reputation. Apart from her husband, Dr. Abhishek Singh ji, having his own distinct, means operation. Madam has also earned a very distinct reputation of being, a great dentist, because her work of dentistry has already attracted the sort of VVIPs, as it's already, means referred to, like Madam Kalpana Sorenji, the wife of the Honorable Chief Minister of Jharkhand, and so many distinguished guests, these patients keep on visiting her. The sort of trust, mutual trust and goodwill that, the Meenakshi Netralaya has earned, that really is something, means unparalleled in the history of Ranchi. Within the shortest possible time, this hospital has managed to build up its brand that itself speaks a lot about the glory of both the husband and wife, that is, Madam, our very distinguished guest, Dr. Meenakshi ji, and of course, her very dynamic husband, Dr. Abhishek Singh ji. Madam, I'm coming to the next very important question. During lockdown, you also claim to have done a lot of research and invested in stock exchange and made good return before suffering loss. And mind you, you did not take guidance from anyone. On account of your own exclusive research, you invested in stock exchange. That itself speaks about your intelligence quotient. So can you describe your experience in that given direction to our viewers? Please, madam, your take on.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I am an explorer. I told you earlier also, as I had a setup of my farmhouse and all. So at the time of lockdown, what happened that the first lockdown happened and everything got shut. Our clinics were also shut. So I wanted to do something different. Something should be done because I can't sit idle and I can't pass my time without doing anything. So I actually wanted to do something there because I have to do something. I can't sit like that. If I'm not doing patient, I should do something. So what I did is I started actually exploring, and I finally found after seeing the news and everything that the stock market came to crash at the time of lockdown, and afterwards it went back upside. So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of studies. I was even doing my MBA. So I actually thought that I should actually go and explore this part also. And that exploring was an event also because it went eventful as I lost a lot of money in that, like 12 lakhs I earned, and again I lost it in the same flow. I earned 12 lakhs and I lost it in the same flow. Like in 10 days I earned it, and next 10 days I lost it. And I was in a huge shock. I said that, oh my God, what has happened? Things has gone, in black and white for me. So my husband actually at that time he said that if you lose 1 crore also, na, I'm not going to tell you anything because that 1 crore will actually help you learn a lot. So I said that no, I'm not going to waste any of my money now. I'm again going to seriously study all the things, and I actually get back to the things again, and I earned a lot more than what I lost.
Indeed, the viewers, we can well understand that we are, it's such a great learning experience for our distinguished guest. Being a medical practitioner, being a doctor, being a manager, being an owner of Meenakshi Netralaya, she is already, of course, during the COVID time, she had a lot of time, of course, that's what she has already informed us. But nevertheless, to venture into some sort of unknown field and then, make an investment without list of fear that the probability of loss was substantial, and she even lost the money. But see the sort of extension of support that her husband dared to extend, because as she just now informed all of us, Dr. Abhishek Singh ji, gave her a lot of courage. That is called courage of conviction, and even persuaded her to go ahead without bothering about the consequence, even though it might translate into a huge loss. Let that be so. But you should move ahead with a sense of confidence. And today, by the grace of divine, with all sort of perseverance and hard work, she has got an expertise in terms of investing in stock exchange, because she has learned the nitty-gritty of the same, and then she has become, as good in understanding the overall fluctuation in sensex as any financial expert would, who is accustomed to investing in stock.
Yes, I
Great.
actually daily read Economic Times, and I every day see my portfolios and everything. So I have to actually do my hospital business, as well as I have to do my dentistry business. I have to check out the farmers, because we are actually cultivating also a lot of food items from there, like our potatoes, tomatoes, many things actually come from there. Even right now we are sowing, rice and all. So everything comes from there. So I have to look after that also. I have to look after my cows also. So everything goes hand in hand.
Yes, great. So, before I come to the last question, really I would like to extend my congratulations, to our distinguished guest. You can see the versatility that she so, means so, effortlessly. My dear viewers, it was very important for me to tell you one great Nani Palkiwala, where he would come to Calcutta to deliver his speech on the, in the wake of Union budget, while expressing vote of thanks, great, the managing director of Statesman, that is C.R. Irani, cousin of great Nani Palkiwala, had paid a glowing tribute to great constitutional jurist when he said he carries his, intelligence with ease. So likewise, today, our distinguished guest, she also carries her own intelligence with a sense of ease. That is the beauty of Dr. Meenakshi Singh, as a versatile personality. Madam, I'm coming to the last question. Very important questions, because you indeed, you have a dynamism that your persona is a vindication of the same. Now, 5 to 7 years down the line, you propose to build a huge medical college plus hospital in Jharkhand. Apart from building a modern eye hospital on pattern of Sankar Netralaya and AIMS, how you propose to go ahead with it? Your take on this, please, Madam Meenakshi ji.
Yes, actually, we belong to a state like Jharkhand, where there is very much deprived medical facilities in the state is present, and we want to actually develop this state as a big medical hub, and we want to establish things on the basis of trust. It won't be like for earning purpose; it will be for serving purpose. And we just want we have a vision that people should not migrate to other places, because at the time my husband was in AIMS, they used to treat, you have also written Main Bihari who book on Biharis, and the humiliation and discrimination they face when they go out of the state. So we have a vision for that. We want our people to get treated in our own state, and in the way they have established Shankar Netralaya, as well as LVPI, and big hospitals in Bangalore, Hyderabad. So why not in Jharkhand? Why not somebody could have a vision for Jharkhand? What is lacking in this place? The lacking part is only that nobody, has affection to the, the population that we have over here. So we should actually the land we belong to, we should always have a, thinking of serving that land. And if we will not serve our land, we will not actually feel good about ourselves, because being doctors, we have that responsibility. So obviously, because of this kind of thought, we have decided that we will, after 5 to 7 years, it is for sure that we are going to develop a big, medical institution as well as a medical college over here that will serve people. And it's not going to be for earning purpose, it's just for the serving of people. Everybody should get equal amount of treatment, and everybody should get very good kind of treatment. They should not migrate from this place to other places and get humiliated. That is the vision.
Great, madam. Indeed, we from the this August platform of Education Pe Charcha extend you the best wishes, because indeed you have got the burning sense of patriotism and because you want to build up a hospital for for the people of Jharkhand. Because indeed, my dear viewers, Jharkhand was carved out in the year 2000 from the independent Bihar, but since then the development of Jharkhand really has been at a snail speed, and we have such a dynamic, enterprising woman entrepreneur, doctor entrepreneur like Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji, who intend to bring something good to the people. And therefore, we do wish her all sort of, with all the best wishes we extend, and we hope that very soon, within 5 to 7 years, she will be able to build up a huge, sprawling hospital for the inhabitants of Jharkhand, and thereby even there will be a good scope and opportunity for providing jobs to the sons and daughters of Jharkhand. It is indeed a great, a noble mission, and divine will enable the fulfillment of that very altruistic.
And my team is actually doing it day and night, and I have like many executives who are there in the fields in Latehar, etc. In different those parts of Jharkhand which is very much deprived, and there doesn't have anything. So our team is already there. They are actually doing groundwork every day. They are going to the villages. They are going to educate people, as well as they are telling them that how you can come to us. And obviously right now also we are trying to give them benefits of BPL cards and all. And every day we are working for that. Also every Sundays we are holding camps, and huge amount of team is going to the villages, and we distribute like medicine in lakhs, like amount goes to lakhs. And so we are doing a lot of work, CSR activities right now.
Great. Thanks a lot, our distinguished guest, Dr. Meenakshi ji, and for doing all sort of miracle work for the betterment of the society. My dear viewers, it becomes very important now to make an announcement for our next guest. In the series of continuation of women empowerment, we are going to invite Dr. Madam Seema Singh, from, he is working with Bill Gates Foundation of Bangkok, where even previously she had served United Nations, especially in the disaster management. So she is going to be our next distinguished guest on Education Pe Charcha, by way of extension of this very women empowerment on Education Pe Charcha. Now I invite Sri Pramod Kumar Jha, and let me tell you, my dear viewers, Sri Pramod ji is also having the cows, because he also nurses cows. And so therefore there is some sort of affinity with our distinguished guest. So he would be very pleased to sum up our discussion in Hindi. I invite Pramod ji. Pramod ji, it is your turn now, please.
जी नमस्कार। मेरी आवाज जा रही है?
हाँ बिल्कुल।
आज के इस कार्यक्रम में आदरणीय डॉक्टर मीनाक्षी सिंह जी को सुना। आप एक अच्छी चिकित्सक हैं, साथ ही साथ सामाजिक सहभागिता के लिए भी आपने अपना सहभाग दिया हुआ है। आप गौ सेवा भी करती हैं और ऑर्गेनिक खेती भी करती हैं। समाज के सभी हिस्सों के साथ मिलकर के समाज की बेहतरी की भी परिकल्पना करती हैं। आप लगातार 4-5 वर्षों से हमारे झारखंड की राजधानी में हैं और
नहीं,
वहाँ
लगभग
के
12
लोगों
साल
का
से।
और हाँ आप
12 साल से है।
उस हाँ 12 साल से और उस पूरे पेरीफेरी में आप जो है लगातार अपने को सेवा में अपने को लगाई हुई हैं। एक बहुत अच्छी बात है। जहाँ एक तरफ चिकित्सा के क्षेत्र में अच्छे लोगों की बहुत ही आवश्यकता है, वहीं हमारी पुरातन जो सनातन व्यवस्था है, उस सनातन व्यवस्था में जो हमारे यहाँ पारंपरिक खेती होती थी और गौ सेवा का जो एक सनातनी मान बिंदु है, उसको भी आपने अपने साथ रखा हुआ है और समाज की सेवा करती है। हमें गर्व है कि हमारे ऐसी बेटियां इस देश के नवोत्थान के प्रति सतत चिंतनशील हैं और संस्कारवान होकर भारत को दुनिया का अग्रदूत बनाने के लिए प्रयासरत हैं। मैं बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और साधुवाद देता हूं कि आप और निरंतर अपने प्रयास में सफल होती रहे। साथ ही आदरणीय श्री विवेकानंद झा जी, जिनका यह प्रयास दिनानुदिन बढ़ता ही जा रहा है और जितनी तयता से, जितनी दृढ़ता से, जितनी तीव्रता से आप इस कार्य को कर रहे हैं, मेरी ऐसी अपेक्षा है कि आप इस माध्यम से जन सामान्य तक इस तरह की जानकारियां लगातार पहुंचाते रहें और आप इस प्रयास में सफल हों, यही मेरी शुभकामना है। बहुत अच्छी बात यह है कि अभी जिस प्रकार से हम दुनिया की स्थिति देख रहे हैं, अपने सराउंडिंग्स की स्थिति देख रहे हैं, उन स्थितियों में हमारे यहाँ के लोग अपनी जड़ को पकड़कर और इतनी तेजी से उसको फैला रहे हैं, जो आने वाले समय के लिए एक संभावित ऊर्जा के रूप में संपूर्ण देश को अनुप्राणित करेगा, उन्हें अनुसरण करने के लिए, अनुशीलन करने के लिए बाध्य करेगा। इन्हीं शुभकामनाओं के साथ आप सबों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपने अपना बहुमूल्य समय हम सबों को दिया। जो श्रोता इसमें शामिल हैं, जो फिर से बाद में इसे देखेंगे, इन सभी लोगों के प्रति मैं अपने हृदय से उन्हें साधुवाद देता हूँ और अपेक्षा करता हूँ कि आगामी जो कार्यक्रम है उसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा संख्या में लोग आए और इस कार्यक्रम को देखें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Sri Pramod Kumar Jhaji. And to my dear viewers, today because of our late speak starting of the program, many of the viewers might not have been able to see the program live. So, but given the class of this particular program, the quality of the program, I invite thousands of viewers from across the nation and even abroad to have a look at this, to listen to this particular video and try to learn from our distinguished guest the sort of versatility that she has been espousing in our midst today. So in fact, I expect thousands of people to view this very, very informative and an electrifying and a scintillating interaction between me and our distinguished guest, Dr. Meenakshi Singh ji. And I once again thank Pramod ji. I thank all my viewers for being a part and parcel of this unique and spectacular bandwagon of CHARCHA. So, and again with an announcement that next week we are going to invite another, dignitary, that is Madam Seema Singh ji, who today she's looking after the entire portfolio of Eastern Zone of that of Bill Gates Foundation of Bangkok. I thank all of you, and thank to Dr. Madam Meenakshi ji, to Sri Pramod ji, and all my viewers.